Hey guys, what's up? So instead of vlogging for today's video, I decided to do a Q&A only because I realized you guys have a lot of questions. And I felt like I should just take one whole video and just answer all the questions I've gotten from you guys. And if this goes well and you guys have more questions later on, maybe I will do more Q&As, maybe like once a month. So on that note, let's go ahead and start this Q&A. So I've actually gotten a lot of similar questions, so I'm going to go over them obviously only once because it's going to be the same answer for all of them. So the first question is, who is older, you or Harji? I am obviously older because I'm the most wisest. I'm just joking. But I am a year and a couple months older than my brother. And since we're not that far apart, we're pretty close. So that's why we're like homies for life, you know? Next question is, what course are you taking in school? So I am taking nursing. I am in the nursing program. I have a year left, and then after that, once I write my test, I'm officially done school. I'll be a nurse. I've always wanted to be a nurse. I actually want to be a pediatrician, but I realized I didn't want to be in school for that long. So I'm like, I didn't want to be a pediatrician just because the pediatrician, my main like passion in life was like to care for little kids. So anything that got me to be around little kids and take care of them and take care of their well-being, I'm totally okay with. So I just decided, because of my lifestyle and because of all the things I have going on, all the things I want to do and all the things I want to accomplish, nursing would be the best path for me to take. So that is why I am enrolled in nursing. What made you go into nursing / healthcare, and what keeps you motivated? So like my previous answer, I want to take care of kids. I love kids. I've always wanted to be around kids. I always wanted to take care of kids. They make me so happy at the end of the day. So that's why I chose healthcare, because what other job is there that you can take care of kids on like a health level? The second part of the question is what keeps me motivated. So school does get really overwhelming sometimes, especially when you have so many other things going on and you multitask. But like, you can't always multitask to like the best of your ability, because life does get in the way. Obviously you're gonna have a social life, obviously you're gonna have jobs, you're gonna work, you gotta pay for school somehow, you're gonna have school, and then school is like an endless job. Like, you go to school, it's not over. You come home and school doesn't end. You come home, you gotta study, you gotta do your work, you gotta make your notes, you gotta review for tomorrow's class, you gotta review for that class you just had, and it's like, it never ends. So what keeps me motivated is that I always think about what I want, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm in what I'm in, why I want to do what I want to do. That's the only thing that keeps me motivated, because at the end of the day, when I'm done everything, I will have what I want to have, right? So moving on, next question is, so the next question is almost similar. What motivates me and inspires me every day? Again, so because I know what I want and what makes me happy, that's what gives me the drive to be motivated, to stay motivated every day. Like, yeah, I have those days where, you know, you want to stay in bed, you don't want to get up, especially because the weather is so gloomy, and you just want to be home and be gloomy with the weather just because it makes you feel that way. Like, you just take those days, you can have those days, you can take those days and you just like sit down, relax, you know, have a me day and just have a calm and relaxing day. But then the next day you just step your game up and you gotta grind even harder. You have to literally know what you want. You have to know what you're willing to do to get there. You have to know what you're willing to like conquer to get there. You have to know what you're willing to, like, what barriers you're willing to cross to get there. And as long as you stay motivated and you know your goals, you have your set goals, you will come up with ways to get to those goals, and you will accomplish those goals no matter what. Yeah, sometimes like people set goals and there's like they never achieve those goals, but it's because you can't make like a goal like, okay, today I'm broke and then tomorrow I want to have like $1 million. You can't do that overnight. So you gotta make baby steps, right? You gotta take baby steps, and like eventually you will get there. You can't expect to get anything overnight. That never ever happens unless you're like, I don't know, unless you're like, I don't know, like you're, I don't know, like, I don't know. I can't even give you an example. But anyways, so that is my answer for that. Next question is, when did you realize you loved making cakes? So I used to bake for fun. I used to just make random cupcakes, random flavors, just because I was bored. So when I had nothing to do, I would just like be in the kitchen and bake cupcakes. And then I ended up having so many at home, I didn't know what to do with it. And at that time, so this was like about 5 years ago, I used to do security. So I used to work downtown, and then by the end of the night, by 3 a.m, everyone's always hungry. So I always used to take cupcakes to work, and then everyone used to eat it. And then and then it just became a habit of me always making cupcakes for everyone else, because it always made them happy, and I enjoyed doing it, and then I didn't want to, you know, waste it all. So why not make other people happy with it? So over time, like, people just started inquiring, people just started, you know, people just started asking, and then I just started coming up with answers. And then for like 2 years I never made cakes. I've only made cupcakes, and that's where I started. But eventually people started inquiring. They're like, oh, do you make cakes? Can you make this cake? Can you make that cake? And the kind of person I am is like, I never say no. So I will accept a challenge and I will overcome that challenge. I will be like, okay, yeah, I can do it. And then I go home and I struggle, and I will do it. I will do it, and I will provide the best product for them. So when I made my very first cake, I'm like, whoa, I never knew I could do this. I never knew I knew how to make a cake. I learned on my own. I learned from home. Like, I never took any classes or anything. So when I made my first cake, I was so astonished. I was like, whoa, did I just make that? And like, I had to sit there for a moment and realize like, okay, I can make cakes too, so why not move into cakes now and make cupcakes, you know? So that's when I realized I like making cakes. After that, I just started like making cakes for fun and just like coming up with designs and just making my whole family fat by giving them bajillions and bajillions of cakes. Like every party, every family event we went to, every gathering, is like, I always brought the cake. They're like, oh, where's the cake? Oh, mine's not here yet. So, you know, I was like the official cake girl for the family. Next question, what's your favorite cake flavor? My favorite cake flavor has to be French vanilla strawberries. It's like your go-to flavor. It's like your every typical Desi favorite flavor. Like, you can't go wrong with the cake and a filling of a fruit, because like the cake's sweet and then the fruit's like tangy sour, and it's like the perfect, like, it's like the perfect magicalness in your it's like the perfect thing in your mouth. Like, it's like, oh, it's like, I don't know, it's like the perfect bite. Like you know, you just take a bite of like the cake and then the strawberries, and then you eat it, and it tastes so good. Like, I don't know anyone who doesn't like French vanilla strawberries. Like, strawberry shortcake is like the go-to flavor for everyone. Like, you can't go wrong with it. Like, if you ever can't decide what to get someone, strawberry shortcake it. Like, I will promise you, you will never regret that choice ever. Next question. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self anything, what would it be and why? That's a really good question. If I could go back in time, If I could go back in time and tell myself something, I would tell myself, literally, let things be. My number one problem was when I was younger is like, I used to stress way too much. I used to be so anxious. Like, even when it came to like writing tests, I used to be so anxious that I never used to study. And I had 2 days to study and I would never study just because I'm so anxious. But then after all that, I realized, what's the point? What's the point of being anxious when it's not going to get you anything? Why sit there and panic over something you can or cannot do? If you can do it, then do it. If you can't do it, there's no point in sitting there and wasting your time just being anxious about it, right? Or like, if something bad happened, like say I failed a test, and then for like a couple days I'd be like so upset, it like hit me so hard. I started like, calculating, oh my god, what do I need on this test to pass this class, or like this and that and like that. And then I would forget about every other class I have tests for, and I would just focus on that one class or that one test that I failed. Like, what did I get out of that? Nothing, right? So I eventually over time I realized, I'm like, I'm just hurt. At the end of the day, I'm just hurting myself. Like, I'm just emotionally hurting myself and mentally just destroying myself. So what's the point of doing that? If I could go back in time and tell myself, let things be, then I would have had like an easier path. But then again, I would never change anything in the past, because if whatever happened in the past didn't happen, or whatever I experienced didn't experience, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't have the goals that I have today. I wouldn't have the motivation today that I have. So I'm really thankful for everything, but if I could say something, I'd be like, yo, dog, chill. So that's what I would tell myself. Next question. Why bake cakes and not apply your creativity elsewhere? If you did, what would it be? Oh man, I love these two-part questions. Okay, so I've always liked to bake cake. I don't know why. So, well, not cakes. Like, I always like to bake, period. But when I started baking cake, I realized, like, there's only so much you can do with cupcakes. Like, they're so small. Like, you can only put, like, a little tiny topper on it. I mean, you can get creative, but, like, your options aren't endless. You can only go to a certain extent with cupcake. But then when I started making cakes and I realized, whoa, you can do so much with cakes. You can carve them into, like, different shapes, different things, different objects, different people. And then, like, you can literally do anything to a cake. Like, you can make it into a human, legit. So I was like, my mind is like always thinking, like, I always have like these things in my mind going on where it's just like, oh, what if, how would this look with this, or how would this color look with this color, or how would this look against that? So when I started doing the cakes, that's where all my, like, my brain juices kept going. Like, I just started coming up with different ways that things looked good together, different ways colors look good together, designs look good together. And after that, I just started going really into my cakes. I started going above and beyond all expectations. I started asking clients, oh, instead of that, can I do this for you? How about, how would this look? And like, every time, I legit swear, every time everyone's always like, oh my god, whoa, that will look amazing. So that feeling inside is like, it can't be replaced with anything else. It's like, you can't explain this feeling. Like, you know when you just can't explain something, you can't even figure a word for it, because it's just like, so, like, what the hell? I don't even know what that is. But yeah, but if I could apply my creativity somewhere else, I would go into like decorating or interior designing, or maybe even like hair and makeup. Only because like all these things, it's all about colors too. And then it's not that I just like colors, I just like organizing things and putting things together that look good with other things. So even though I make cakes, I'm still always thinking, oh my god, how would my room look with this thing in it, or what if I had this accent color, or what if I had that accent color. And then like even with like makeup and hair, like you're playing with colors, but you're also playing with what looks good with what, or what suits what structure, you know. So maybe I would go into that. What's the best advice you could give someone starting somewhere new? For example, school. The best advice I would give is just be you, literally. You don't want to be someone else. You don't want to be someone you're not, because then at the end of the day, you're just going to be stressing yourself out. Just literally just be you. And if like things aren't going the way you want them to go, then change it. Don't change yourself, but just change what you're surrounded by. Just change the negativity into something positive. Don't be afraid of other people. Don't be afraid of, oh my god, what's so-and-so going to think about me, or what so-and-so think. Who cares? Like, who cares what other people think, and who cares what other people have to say? At the end of the day, it's your life. What you want to say, you say. What you want to do, you do. What you want to feel, you feel. What you want to think, you think. Going into a new place is probably, it's a pretty good experience, because you get to meet so many different people with like so many different skills and so many different talents. You get to discover a new you that you may not have known before. So like I would say, never be nervous, never be scared. So just be you. At the end of the day, no matter what, don't change for anyone. Don't conform to society. Just be you. Do what you believe in. Do what you have passion for, and speak what you feel like speaking. And if anyone else says otherwise, then just walk away, you know. So those are the questions that I got majority wise from people. But other than that, if you guys ever have any more questions, or whatever you guys want to see, you want to see a tutorial, if you guys want to see how I take my notes, how I stay organized with something, or how I deal with certain situations, like feel free to ask. Like, you guys all have my email address. If not, like everything's down below. Send me an email, message me on Snapchat, message me on Instagram, leave a comment, any questions, anything. I'm more than happy to help. Some people have even been like Snapchatting me and asking me for questions. I'm more than happy to help. I feel so blessed that you guys could even like come to me with your questions and like asking me for advice. Like, I am more than happy to help. Like, I love helping people. So helping you guys like means the world to me. So hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. If you guys like this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more, leave a comment down below. Yeah, so if this goes well, maybe I'll do more. Maybe I'll do one like once a month. I think that's a good amount of time. So I will see you guys tomorrow.
All eyes on me like a Machiavelli. Before I turn 23, I'ma make a milli. If you hating on me, goddamn, you be looking silly. Cause I'm here to take over your city like my name Achilles. Young Lord on this grown shit, rapping like